Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Surface marking of abdomen and pelvis. 2 horizontal, transpyloric and transtubercular, and 2 vertical, right and left lateral, planes divide the abdomen into 9 regions. Surface marking. Viscera. Spleen. 1. It is marked on the left side of the back, with its long axis corresponding with that of the 10th rib. The upper border corresponds to the upper border of the 9th rib and the lower border of 11th rib. 2. The medial end lies 4 to 5 cm from the posterior midline, and the lateral end on the left midaxillary line. Stomach. 1. Cardiac orifice. It is marked by 2 short parallel lines 2 cm apart, directed downwards and to the left on 7th costal cartilage, 2.5 cm to the left of median plane. 2. Pyloric orifice. It is marked by 2 short parallel lines 2 cm apart, directed upwards and to the right, on transpyloric plane, 1.2 cm to the right of the median plane.lesser curvature.it is marked by goining the right margin of cardiac orifice with upper margin of the pyloric orifice by J-shaped curved line. The lowest point of this line reach a little below the transpyloric plane to fundus. This is marked by a line convex upwards drawn from the left margin of the cardiac orifice to highest point in the left fifth intercostal space just below the nipple. 3. Greater curvature. This is marked by a curved line convex to the left and downwards, drawn from the fundus to the lower margin of the pyloric orifice. It cuts the left costal margin between the tips of the 9th and 10th costal cartilages and extends down to 5 the subcostal plane, level of lumbar 5 vertebra. Duodenum. The duodenum is 2.5 cm wide, and lies above the umbilicus. Mark the pylorus, right lateral vertical plane, median plane, transpyloric plane, subcostal plane. Its 4 parts are marked in the following way. 1. First part is marked by 2 parallel lines 2.5 cm apart extending from the pyloric orifice upwards and to the right for 2.5 cm. 2. Second part is marked by similar lines on the right lateral vertical plane extending from the end of the first part downwards for 7.5 cm. 3. Third part is marked by 2 transverse parallel lines 2.5 cm apart on the subcostal plane extending from the lower end of the second part towards the left for 10 cm. It crosses the median plane above the umbilicus. Fourth part is marked by 2 lines extending from the left end of the third part to the duodenojejunal flexure which lies 1 cm below the transpyloric plane, and 3 cm to the left of the median plane. This part is 2.5 cm long. Cecum. The cecum is marked in the right iliac fossa between inguinal ligament, right lateral plane and intertubercular plane. It is about 6 cm long and 7.5 cm broad. Its axis is directed downwards and slightly medially. Iliacecal orifice. Iliacecal orifice is marked on the point of intersection of the right lateral and transtubercular planes. Appendix. 1. The appendicular orifice is marked at a point 2 cm below the iliacecal orifice. 2. The appendix is marked by 2 parallel lines 1 cm apart and 7 to 10 cm long, extending from the appendicular orifice usually upwards behind the cecum. However, the position of the appendix is highly variable. Ascending colon. Ascending colon is marked by 2 parallel lines 5 cm apart, immediately to the right of the right lateral vertical plane, from the level of the intertubercular plane, upper end of cecum, to the upper part of the 9th costal cartilage, right colic flexure. Transverse colon. Transverse colon is marked by 2 parallel lines 5 cm apart. It begins at the upper part of the 9th costal cartilage, right colic flexure, runs downwards and medially to the umbilicus, and then upwards and laterally, crossing the transpyloric plane and also the left lateral vertical plane, to end at the BLH costal cartilage, left colic flexure. Descending colon. Descending colon is marked by 2 parallel lines 2.5 cm apart. It begins at the 8th costal cartilage, left colic flexure, runs downward immediately lateral to the left lateral vertical plane, and ends at the fold of the groin, inguinal ligament. Pectum and anal canal. Rectum and anal canal are marked on the back by drawing two lines joining the posterior superior iliac spines to the anus. The lower parts of these lines, from 1 cm below the second sacral spine, represent the rectum and anal canal. Liver. In surface projection from anterior aspect, the liver is triangular in shape when seen from the front. Planes to be drawn. Right midclavicular line. Left midclavicular line. Median line. Transpyloric plane. Subcostal plane. A. The upper border is marked by joining the following points. First point, I, in the left fifth intercostal space below and medial to left nipple. Second point at the xiphisternal joint. Third point, 3, at the upper border of the right fifth costal cartilage in the right lateral vertical plane. B. The lower border is marked by a curved line joining the following points. First point, I, in the left fifth intercostal space below and medial to left nipple. Fourth point, 4, at the tip of the 8th costal cartilage on the left costal margin. Fifth point, V, at the transpyloric plane in the midline. Sixth point, 6, at the tip of the 9th costal cartilage on the right costal margin. Right costal margin at the tip of the 10th costal cartilage. Points number 3 and 7. Gallbladder. The fundus of the gallbladder is marked by a small convex area at the tip of right 9th costal cartilage. Bile duct. Bile duct is marked by a line 7.5 cm long. The line is vertical in its upper half and inclines to the right in its lower half. The line extends from a 0.5 cm above the transpyloric plane and 2 cm to the right of the median plane, to the middle of the medial border of the second part of the duodenum. Pancreas. First draw duodenum. L. The head is marked within the concavity of the duodenum. 2. The neck passes upwards and to the left behind the pylorus in the transpyloric plane. 3. The body is marked by two parallel lines 3 cm apart, drawn upwards and to the left for 10 cm from the neck, occupying the upper 2/3 of the space between the transpyloric and subcostal planes. Kidney. The kidney measures 11 x 5 cm. It can be marked both on the back as well on the front. On the back, it is marked within Morrison's parallelogram, which is drawn in the following way. Two horizontal lines are drawn, one at the level of the 11th thoracic spine and the other at the level of the 3rd lumbar spine. On the front, the bean-shaped kidney is marked with following specifications. A. On the right side, the center of the hilum. B. Lies 5 cm from the median plane, a little below the transpyloric plane, and on the left side it lies 5 cm from the median plane, a little above the transpyloric plane, just medial to the tip of the 9th costal cartilage. C. The upper pole lies, D. 4 to 5 cm from the midline, halfway between the xiphisternum and the transpyloric plane, right 1, a little lower. E. The lower pole lies 6 to 7 cm from the midline on the right side at the umbilical plane and on the left side at subcostal plane. Ureter. The ureter can also be marked both on the front as well as on the back. 1. Out the front, it is marked by a line running downwards and slightly medially from the tip of the 9th costal cartilage to the pubic tubercle. The upper 5 cm of this line represents the renal pelvis. 2. On the hock, it is marked by a line running vertically upwards from the posterior superior iliac spine to the level of the 2nd lumbar spine. The lower end of the renal hilum lies at this level. Vessels. Abdominal aorta. Abdominal aorta is marked by two parallel lines 2 cm apart, extending from a point 2.5 cm above the transpyloric plane in the median plane to a point 1.2 cm below and to the left of the umbilicus, level of vertebra L4. Common iliac artery. Common iliac artery is represented by the upper 1/3 of a broad line drawn from the lower end of the abdominal aorta to the midinguinal point, midpoint between ASIS and pubic symphysis. External iliac artery. External iliac artery is represented by the lower two-thirds of a line drawn from the lower end of the abdominal aorta to the midinguinal point. Celiac trunk and its branches. The coeliac trunk is marked as a point 1 cm below the beginning of the abdominal aorta. The left gastric artery is marked by a line passing from the coeliac artery upwards and to the left towards the cardiac end of the stomach. The splenic artery is marked by a broad line passing from the coeliac artery towards the left and slightly upwards for about 10 cm. The common hepatic artery is marked by a line passing from the coeliac artery towards the right and slightly downwards for 2.5 cm, and then vertically upwards for 3 cm as proper hepatic artery. Superior mesenteric artery. Superior mesenteric artery is marked by a curved line convex to the left, extending from the abdominal aorta just above the transpyloric plane to the point of intersection of the transtubercular and right lateral planes. Inferior mesenteric artery. Inferior mesenteric artery is marked by a curved line slightly convex to the left, extending from the abdominal aorta 4 cm below the transpyloric plane to a point 4 cm below the umbilicus, and about the same distance to the left of median plane. Interior vena cava. Inferior vena cava is marked by two vertical parallel lines 2.5 cm apart, a little to the right of the median plane. It extends from a point just below the transtubercular plane to the sternal end of the right sixth costal cartilage. Portal vein. Portal vein is marked by a broad line extending from a point on the transpyloric plane 1.2 cm to the right of the median plane upwards and to the right for about 8 cm. Miscellaneous. Inguinal canal. Inguinal canal is marked by two parallel lines 1 cm apart and about 3.7 cm long, above the medial half of the inguinal ligament, extending from the deep to the superficial inguinal rings. The deep inguinal ring is marked 1 cm above the midinguinal point, as a vertical oval ring. Superficial inguinal ring lies above and lateral to the pubic crest. Pubic crest forms the base of the triangle, the margins are called the crura. Each crus meets laterally to form an obtuse apex, which lies above and lateral to pubic tubercle. Lateral crus is thicker and curved while medial crus is thinner and oblique. Root of mesentery. Root of mesentery is marked by two parallel lines close together, extending from the duodenojejunal flexure to the junction to the right lateral and transtubercular planes. The duodenojejunal flexure lies 1 cm below the transpyloric plane and 3 cm to the left of the median plane.